We need to run. No, don't touch me. All it takes is one touch, and in the space of a breath, my curse takes hold. Okay, the way that this game just came on. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is meant for an older audience, so viewer discretion is advised. And remember, there are no wrong choices, only interesting ones. Choose wisely and save often. Oh goodness. This world began to unravel long before you were born. I guess I'll add music in so it won't be completely silent while I'm playing this game. It began with Fogfall. Fogfall. Spectral mist bled from the seams where reality wore so then. What? It began with and from that fog emerged monsters and human beings with unnatural powers. Some possessed language and intellect, others were mindless beasts driven by little more than the desire to slaughter. As cities fell, unrest spread, humans united in their fear while monsters thrived in the chaos. And then there's you. You're not even sure if you're human. You were born cursed, with hands that alter the minds of anyone you touch. Choose your backstory. Should I save right now? Oh, okay. A named one? A fallen oracle. An exiled Cenobium mage took you in as a child, raising you as her apprentice. She seemed to take pity on your curse, but you discovered that she was cultivating you as a test subject. You fled to the Cenobium seeking a cure. You are an experienced spellcaster with encyclopedic knowledge of alchemy, spellcraft, and history. With a little observation, you can identify subtle effects of magic. Let's go with the alchemist. Your name is Jim. You selected? Okay, yeah. Yeah. The wasteland stretches as far as the eye can see. There's nothing out here but death, and the ever-present stench of decay, and countless sun-bleached bones cast like seeds across the barren land. I could say death doesn't scare me, but to tell the truth, I'm desperate. It's been 2 weeks since I joined a caravan bound across the waste, finding a group that would accept me as a trial in itself. As rations grew sparse and my canteen ran dry, I began to despair. But then I saw it. A city? Aridia, the city of knowledge, one of the last bastions of humanity left in the world, and home to the famous academy called the Cenobium. All the world's knowledge gathered in one place. If there's anywhere I'll find a cure for my curse, it's there. All that stands between me and cure is a final stretch of salt-soaked waste, or so I think until I see the first tendrils of fog snaking beneath the wagon. Is this Fogfall? My stomach sinks at the very whisper of it. A silent storm more devastating than fire, dangerous in cities, but a death sentence beyond them. A thick blanket of fog engulfs us, smothering out the lantern's light. The wagon lurches to a stop. An eerie silence, heavy as the mist falls over us. The only warning we get is a strangled scream. Stay back! No! The cry dissolves into wet gurgling. Oh! I'ma just make myself smaller in case that messes up again. Then the wagon violently pitches to the side. I hit the ground hard, the air punched from my lungs. When I open my eyes, adrenaline lends sudden. an awful clarity to the carnage around me. A traitor I once shared bread with lies face down in the mud, their back reduced to long strings of torn muscle, gleaming gristle, and exposed bone. Bodies litter the wasteland. Oh, I try to rise, but my ankle explodes with pain so blinding. White blooms across my vision. Only when my eyes adjust do I see the dark shape in front of me. Oh! A soulless stoops over the twisted form of the caravaner. I freeze, but it swivels its head. A dozen bulging eyes twist in my direction, and blink as one. The soulless lets out an ear-splitting shriek and runs at me. But right before it reaches me, the beast barrels past, vanishing into the mist. Distantly, a horse screams in the dark. I need to move now. I think there are no wrong answers. Well, since it seems preoccupied and is safer in the city, maybe I could run to the city. Even though I think it's far. But I'm gonna just run for the city. I take off, running deeper into the haze. The fog is so thick, I fear I'm headed in the wrong direction until I see a dim pinprick of light emanating from the shadow of a spire. It's faint, but it's enough. I came too far to die here. Rapid footsteps echo all around me. I turn in circles, frantically searching the opaque mist for the source, but the fogfall twists and stretches sound. Suddenly, the caravan's driver bursts forth from the fog. Our eyes meet too late. He slams into me, knocking me to the ground and slips in the patch of mud. The soulless falls on him as soon as he slows. Whoa. You brought it over here? It catches the driver by his throat, and rakes his stomach with a razor-sharp claws. He comes apart like wet paper, spilling intestines and the viscera in a steaming tide. Fighting the urge to heave, I claw frantically through the slippery muck for a handhold. Did I just die? My head. Okay, no. I was about to say, excuse me? I thought there were no wrong choices. My hand catches on a jagged edge of a rib, gutting up from the water. Bandages unfurl around the gouge, torn deep into my palm. The pain's quickly forgotten when the hand closes around my wrist. Oh, can you stand? One of the travelers from the caravan leans over me. We need to run. I reach for my hand and I realize too late that the bandages have come undone. No, don't touch me. The sensation of their thumb brushing the back of my hand sends a shiver down my spine. All it takes is one touch, and in the space of a breath, my curse takes hold. Their lips peel back into a deranged grin. No, I've seen this face countless times before. This is my curse. Madness of my own making. So do they stay that way, or does it stop as soon as you stop touching them? Whoa, the grip of my hand tightens until pain radiates from my knuckles. Let me go. Suddenly, clammy hands, crush my throat, choking off my breath. Die. This is terrible. Oh! Spit bubbles at the corner of their mouth and flecks my face. Edges of my vision darken as my lungs scream for air. I think we're fighting them. They're fighting them. My nails gouge deep into the traveler's wrist, but no matter how much blood I draw, they don't flinch. The more I struggle, the tighter their grip grows. My pulse hammers in my ears, slowing with every thudding beat. This can't be happening. I'm going to die. Not because of the fogfall or the soulless, but because of my own curse. Tears sting my eyes. No, 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 not here. Not like this. The hands drop from my neck, leaving me wheezing for air. My lungs burn with every ragged cough. My vision clears and the traveler's face takes shape, hovering inches from mine, lips still split in that macabre, what? I don't know what that word is, smile, even as the blood seeps between their teeth. Ew. They give me one last shuddering breath, then slump over, the claws hooked through their stomach. Whoa. The soulless shoves the body inside, and glowering eyes studying its leathery skin thin as though grinning. There's a flash of claws. Reds spill across my vision. I thought there'd be pain, but as I sink into the murky water, all I can feel is the grit of slit filling my mouth, an icy embrace of shallow water. Distantly, I notice an arm resting among the outcrop of reeds, mine neatly severed at the elbow. Oh! I should have taken both arms. Without them, maybe I could have survived. Maybe I could have had a home. Instead, I'll die cold, alone and face down in a desolate wasteland. A fitting end for a monstrosity like me. Um, hello? If this is death, this is not as bad as I feared. The cold is gone, as is the choking stench of bog water. I could drift forever, cocooned in oblivion, until all thought and sensation vanished. No curse, nobody howling at me in madness and terror, nothing at all. The thought has a terrible appeal to it. But the next moment I take a reflexive breath, air pours into my lungs, then out again in a ragged gasp. Ugh. Feeling comes flooding back, warm cloth on my bare skin, a firm surface underneath me, a strange tang of sulfur in the air. Do not be afraid. Oh, hello? I twist my head toward the voice. Tears flood my bleary vision at the bright glow of the lamplight. Try not to move. The voice is calm, steady, and commanding, but more importantly, it's a stranger's voice. One thought cuts through my mental fog. I have no idea who this is, and I'm completely at their mercy. Stay away from me. My words come out in a little more than a creaky whisper. I clench my mouth shut, hating how weak and helpless I sound. No. Oh, okay. No. Who the hell is this? Oh, can I get a good look at you if I sit up? I managed to push myself up on one elbow, but my head swims and my surroundings give an alarming lurch. A stubborn patient. I don't have the strength to dignify that. Ooh, the response. Instead, I pull the sheet up higher and wipe my eyes until my vision clears. Hello. Oh my gosh. The stranger towers over my prone form. Warm light reflects off his pristine medical coat. I instinctively shrink back, and that's when I notice that I'm completely naked except for a thin linen sheet. Naked, lying on a low cot with a pair of sharp golden eyes watching my every move. The man's gaze flickers to my exposed, unbandaged hands. I plunge my hands under the sheet to hide them from sight. Though it's too late, you must have noticed what they look like. What, did you attach my arm back? Strange, cursed, and inhuman. I brace myself for his inevitable suspicion and disgust, but his expression doesn't even flicker from that courteous smile. He just watches in placid silence as I struggle to make sense of my surroundings. Where am I? Who are you? Be calm. You are safe here. Whoever this is, he clearly has no idea who or what I am. I've never been safe anywhere with anyone. Even my own mentor, my teacher, thought I was nothing but a convenient specimen to be used and discarded. I scowl, pulling the sheet protectively around myself. Where are my clothes? The man's golden eyes narrow slightly. A sharp sigh rustles the papers in his hands. I see you're not to be dissuaded. Your clothes were torn to shreds when I found you, but I could procure replacements. With a soft creak, he stands from his chair, giving me a better view of my surroundings. I seem to be in some sort of medical clinic. Bottles of silvery alchemical concoctions line the counters in neat rows. The air makes my nose twitch, a faint whiff of smoke and something distinctively metallic that I can't quite place. The doctor produces a large, dense bundle of cloth, which he sets at the foot of my cot. Cot or cot? Whatever cot. He's easily a head taller than most, and I had to crane my neck to look at him. I'm just gonna say thank you. I should be polite if I can, especially since I don't know who this is, what he can do, or what he wants with me. Thank you. You are welcome. I will leave you to get dressed. Yeah, see, I thought he was gonna just leave on his own. With a curt nod, he leaves through a narrow door. I hear a soft click as the lock turns behind him. I count to 3 in a sudden silence. When I don't hear any more footsteps, I reach toward a bundle of clothes. An itch on my elbow stops me short. I reach down absently to rub it and freeze my fingers meet a line of stitches. I know what I saw. That beast took my arm clean off. And yet my arm shows no signs of injury apart from the black stitches poking through my skin. I gingerly flex my fingers, feeling my heart race at the sensation. This is impossible. I should be dead, or at the very least, gasping out my last breaths. I squeeze my eyes shut, waiting for the pleasant dream to unravel, to wake up bleeding out in the swamp. But nothing happens. The seconds tick by, and my arm remains resolutely healed. My surroundings pristine and quiet. In numb disbelief, I reach for the replacement clothes and begin stiffly pulling them on. They're thicker and warmer than mine were, with a black woolen cloak to go with them. But there's one thing still missing: my bandages. The golden-eyed man didn't leave me with any, even though I know he saw my hands. I slide off the bed and take a few unsteady steps towards one of the drawers. If this is indeed a doctor's clinic, there must be bandages somewhere. I start opening drawers at random, and of course, that's when the door swings open once more. Are you looking for something? I whirl around, clutching a thick roll of clean bandages. I try to step back from him, but my legs bump into the edge of the cot. Your caution is understandable, though if I meant you any harm, you would know. It doesn't make me feel better in the slightest, but he makes no move toward me, so I quickly wind the bandages around my hands. The glowing scars and molten skin disappear under the layer of clean white cotton. May I ask why you need additional bandages? I clench my jaw. I knew it would be only a matter of time before he asks about my hands, though the way he does it is strangely roundabout. I'm saying nothing. There's no answer I could give him without raising an unwelcome suspicion, so I just shake my head and finish tying the bandages in silence. I can only help if you tell me what ails you. An involuntary snort of laughter escapes me. Where would I even begin? Would he even believe me if I told him? No, best to keep my curse to myself now. and learn more about him first. Who are you? You may call me Kuras. Kuras? I'm gonna say it's Kuras. And where exactly am I? Aridia, which I assume was your caravan's destination. I can think of nowhere else for a group of travelers to go. Aridia, so I made it to the city of knowledge after all. I should feel relieved, but all I can manage is a vague sense of increasing unease. How did I end up here? I brought you to my clinic, of course. You were the only survivor from the caravan, barely clinging to life. You needed immediate treatment, which you provided. Yes. He says it so simply, as if I'm a small child and he's explaining basic addition to me. I frown and flex the fingers on my recently healed arm. Aside from being a bit stiff, it feels fine. Thoroughly attached to me. You're saying that you stitched my arm back on? Pardon? A Solus attacked the caravan. It ripped everyone to shreds. It tore one of my arms clean off. But when I woke up here, I spent my entire life learning from the Cenobium mage, and I know of no alchemy or magic that could reattach a severed limb. Even if he somehow could heal me by magic, I should detect traces of it, but I sense nothing out of the ordinary at all. The doctor, Kuras, pinches the bridge of his nose. He sits back down in his chair, quiet for a long time. I do not know where you come from, but Iridia is the city of knowledge and deadly secrets alike. Information is power, and it's most unwise to give or receive it freely. Since you have refused to divulge your secrets, I will not divulge mine. I do not even know your name. You are new to Iridia, so I will overlook this specific breach of etiquette. However, you should not expect others to extend the same courtesy. Huh? Then why did you ask me about my arms then? I guess maybe he just thought it was a simple little question. I don't know. Do you understand? He looks pointedly at my freshly bandaged hands. Loath though I am to admit it, he has a point. I'm also a complete stranger to him, and if he's telling the truth, he saved my life. I take a deep, steadying breath. This time when I speak, I sound a bit more like myself. Jim. My name is Jim. It's a pleasure to meet you, Jim. There's a little more warmth in his smile, his polite demeanor, back in an instant. I want to ask him why, but I feel like that might come off as rude. So I guess I'm just going to say thank you. I don't know. Thank you for saving my life. I chance a smile in return, even if he won't explain how he did the impossible. There's no doubt in my mind that I'll be dead if not for Kuras. Think nothing of it. I'm not sure if he's just being excessively courteous, but my words only raise more urgent questions. But his words only raise more urgent questions. But I have to ask, why did you save me? You don't know me. The question seems to startle Kuras. I could hardly leave you to die in the waste. Assisting those in need is the very essence of a doctor's duty. I've never met a doctor who also handed out free clothes. My fingers find the edge of the cloak. There's a subtle but delicately embroidered pattern around the hem. I try not to think about what kind of price Kuras might ask for such well-made clothes. No, I suppose not. Forgive my presumption. I rarely come across so fascinating a patient. I blinked. What did he just say? I simply meant the few would cling to life so resolutely or brave such a perilous journey to Aridia. I could not help being curious about you, Jim. His voice dips into a soft murmur, and he abruptly looks away from me. You're pretty curious yourself. Yeah. Am I? Well, I haven't forgotten about my arm. I wiggle my intact fingers at him. Yeah. Clearly not. But you haven't asked me for any payment either. I require none from you. Travelers do not have any abundance of coin, and it would be unethical to leave you destitute in a strange place. I fall silent, unsure of what to say. Nobody would help a whore like me for free. There has to be some sort of catch or trick, right? A loud knock at the front door stops our conversation cold and spares me from having to say anything else. Duty calls. Unfortunately, you are not my only patient today. Unfortunately. The knocking grows more insistent and Kuros lets out a tired sigh. Please, wait your turn. Though he says it quietly, the clamor on the other side of the door abruptly stops. Do you need anything before you leave, Jim? Oh. Between the soulless attack and my miraculous survival, I had almost forgot why I came to Iridia in the first place. I need directions to the Cenobium. The Cenobium? The look on his face is downright chilling. He pauses, choosing his words with cold deliberation when he speaks again. Whatever you seek, it is very unlikely you will find it there. The Cenobium's gates open for precious few visitors. Even if they did, you would not like what you found inside. My heart sinks. Is he saying that I came all this way for nothing? Risk life and limb for nothing? No, that can't be. I've only just arrived, and Iridia is the largest city still standing. There has to be a cure for me here. Then if not the Cenobium, where would you suggest? Do you know anyone else in Iridia? I shake my head. Then I suggest a local guide. Head for the West Wick and ask for Leander? Leander. Excuse me? The Wet what? The Wet Wick. He sounds deeply unamused. Follow the postings advertising Leander's bloodhounds. They are difficult to miss. When you meet Leander, tell him I sent you. That isn't much to go on, but Cross points towards the clinic's back door. You will be safe so as long as you don't draw attention to yourself. It's easier said than done. I've always been a magnet for the worst sort of attention. If you require any assistance, you may return whenever you wish. Okay. Though he's smiling, there's a note of finality in his voice. Resigned to my dismissal, I slip out the back door. Okay, I find myself standing in a narrow and rather gloomy alley. I pull the new cloak up over my nose, stepping over the contents of chamber and pots that had been emptied into the street. Something weighs heavily inside on one of the cloak's pockets, my coin purse. Everything is still inside. Every last coin that I scraped together for the journey to Iridia. It doesn't even look like it was open. There were so few coins to begin with, they probably weren't worth stealing. I glanced back at the clinic's closed door. Cross didn't take any payment. He didn't even ask for a future favor. But he also said that in Iridia, secrets are power. Does he expect me to give up mine at some point? That's not exactly a comforting thought. Still, no matter why he did it, Cross gave me a second chance and a lead on where I might find help. I better get going before he changes his mind. I squeeze out the alley and into the crowded main street. The line outside Karas's clinic stretches down the road already. Two thin peddlers queue alongside weathered elders. If any place is in desperate need of a free clinic, it's this one. The cobblestones are treacherously rough under my feet. Deep grooves worn between them by regular flooding and decades of hard use. I knew Iridia was a river city, but I didn't expect it to look so eroded. The buildings are tired and dilapidated, all crammed together in narrow streets. A child darts by, clutching something greasy wrapped in paper. The smell of fried foods drifts over to me. My stomach gives a faint gurgle. This morning's catch, fried up, hot and fresh. Not too many eyeballs today. Huh? That sounds disgusting. But I'm starving. So I duck my head under the stall's grubby awning. A large fish leers up at me. It's 3 Bulging eyes, still visible through the thick layer of crispy batter. Ew, the vendor gives me a gap-toothed grin. What's the cheapest thing you've got? The vendor points at the metal basket of what looks like long strips of savory fried dough. Fresh long lads, 3 copper apiece. Don't burn your mouth. I take the coins out, counting them gingerly. At this rate, I might not even be able to afford dinner. Reluctantly, I drop the payment on the counter and take my meal. 2 straits later, I pass under a wrought iron archway, adorned with dangling garlands of red and pink lilies. The buildings in this quarter are a dizzying riot of color, painted walls, and tinted glass everywhere I look. Sheer red and pink curtains flutter in open doorways. Musical voices call out invitingly. Incense mingles with the pungent scent of flowers, barely covering the salt and musk of warm bodies. This must be Iridia's entertainment district. I'm polishing off my food and dusting the crumbs off from my hands when I spot a poster. It features a silhouette of a smiling man wearing a single dagger-like earring and the word Bloodhounds printed above his head. A motto, as above, so below, circles the artwork. If Leander is the leader of the Bloodhounds, then the face printed on the poster is likely his. I follow the line of identical posters around a corner and nearly hit my head on a precariously dangling wooden sign. Looking up, faded orange letters read the Wet Wick. The facade of the buildings looks like it's seen better days, but I hear faint music and laughter coming from inside. The inside of the bar is a far cry from the abandoned exterior. It's not even midday, yet most of the tables and booths are occupied by a loose assembly of people in matching green cloaks. I'm no stranger to bars. Sometimes I will take my books to the local tavern for a change of scenery, but I much prefer quieter places. A cursory glance doesn't turn up anyone with a dagger-shaped earring. I'm about to head towards the counter when a chant rises from the center of the room. Show, show, show! The remaining green cloaks abandon their bar and their booths to rush towards the center of the room in a sudden torrent. There's no time to move out the way. I'm caught, swept along in the owl stench current. Hey! Rhythmic chanting drowns out my voice. I thrash, throwing out my elbows as the press of bodies grows heavier. My hip knocks into the table. I grip it, holding on tight to steady myself, but the crowd has stilled and the chanting stopped. A pair of gilded boots stride across the tabletop. Seriously, you dogs again? Scattered laughter and cheers rise from the audience. I drag my eyes upwards. A well-dressed man stands on the table in front of me, his broad shoulders framed by the thick lapels of a trench coat. This really is the last time, all right? This time when he speaks, the audience falls silent, as though bewitched by his magnetic presence or rich low voice. But nothing is as captivating as a smile. He beams at the crowd around him, a performer on his makeshift stage. Don't blink or you'll miss it. He laughs, and the dagger-shaped earring dangling from his left ear catches the light and the flash of gold. It would seem I found Leander. He raises his hand above the audience and snaps. A flash of pale green light, real magic. No ordinary stage trick blinds me. Oh, pretty. As the brilliance ebbs, my gaze refocuses on the mage towering above me. He flicks his wrist, and the magic spiraling around him coalesces. A delicate flower stem sprouts from between his pinched fingers. One by one, glowing lily petals spring forth. With a flourish, the mage presents the conjured flowers. The audience bursts into clapping and cheers. My mouth hangs open. not just on account of the impressive performance. There's no incantation, no spell circle. I've never seen something so beautiful and intricate conjured so effortlessly. Leander must be an incredible gifted mage. No wonder Kuros recommended him. Leander plucks the iridescent bouquet from the air and turns in a slow circle, giving his audience a good look. Now, who could use some good luck? Me! Me! Eager onlookers scoot closer to the table. Some reach for the lily while others whistle and call Leander's name. But his cool, green eyes slide right over them, locking on me instead. How about you? My chest tightens. Every person gathered turns to stare at me. Yeah, I'm taking it. I'm finna save though. I reach out, all too aware of the way my fingers tremble as I carefully take the flowers from him. There's no weight to them, only a faint warmth that radiates from the stems. As soon as the flowers leave Leander's hand, their light dims, they fade away in a shower of opalescent light. To my surprise, Leander laughs under his breath. That's the problem with flowers. They don't last long, but they leave an impression, right? He grins at me, and I find myself smiling back. Leander steps off the table, dropping among the excited crowd with an audible clink. All right, bloodhounds, get back to your drinks. Show's over. The green cloaks disperse at his command, returning to their tables and booths. Before I can make my way towards Leander, his eyes find me. He gives me a friendly wave, then beckons me over to the crowded counter. I manage to squeeze beside him, but there's little to no room that his broad shoulders presses against mine. I tense, but he doesn't seem to mind at all. Okay, I'm going to save this conversation for the next video. My throat's hurting, so yeah, I gotta stop. I hope this was interesting so far. I hope this was good background noise for you. Whatever this video was for you, I hope it was positive. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.